An analyst firm predicts that the Xbox Series X will outsell the PlayStation 5 by 2-1 this holiday, and yet another analyst firm says that the PlayStation 5 is going to sell over 700 million consoles and terminate the console war. There's a lot here to talk about, so let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? It's Randall19, the man with the million, back again with another video. Hope everyone's having a great day, and if you guys could do me a huge favor, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and please share this video out on social media. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the support. 3 weeks away. That's it. 3 small weeks from the start of next generation. And we pretty much know everything about the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, their price points, but most importantly, the launch lineup. In my opinion, the Xbox Series X doesn't have the best launch lineup. PlayStation's is by far a little bit superior, even if Spider-Man Miles Morales is a smaller game and Demon's Souls is a remake of a PlayStation 3 game. In my opinion, the PlayStation 5 has a better launch lineup, but that's just what it is. It's an opinion. I'm an Xbox gamer. I'm gonna play everything on my Xbox Series X. It's where I'm gonna play, it's where my friends are, it has all the achievements, it's the more powerful system. I've already explained all of that in previous videos. But today's video is gonna be a little bit different because we don't necessarily always talk about sales numbers on this channel. And I saw a couple predictions recently from analysts that kind of raised my eyebrow. One of them said that the PlayStation 5 was going to sell 700 million consoles by the end of its life cycle, and I gotta say, whatever that analyst is smoking, please send it my way. And then the other one was that the Xbox Series X is predicted to double the sales of the PlayStation 5. And when I saw this article, I definitely wanted to learn more about it. How did they come to that conclusion that the Series X, which lost America not by a large margin, I think 5 million consoles, was suddenly going to reverse course and not only beat the PlayStation 5, but outsell it by double? Now, I just want to say before we get into this article that I think the console that is going to sell more this holiday in the United States is simply going to be the one that has more units available. Both PlayStation and Xbox are going to sell out regardless. It doesn't really matter about the price point. It doesn't matter that the PS5 digital is $100 cheaper or that the Series S is $100 cheaper than the digital. The only thing that matters is availability. Which console manufacturer was able to produce more units? And if it's Xbox, they'll outsell the PlayStation this holiday. And if it's PlayStation, they'll outsell Xbox. Right now, my prediction is that PlayStation 5 will outsell the Xbox Series X this holiday by a slim margin because I think they're focusing more on the United States this go around than they are with Europe. And if you look at their release schedule, it kind of does imply that. The PlayStation 5 is launching in Japan, the United States, Canada, and Mexico on November 12th, and basically the rest of the world on November 19th. I think Sony is prioritizing a win in the United States. And I think Xbox wanted to right the wrongs of the Xbox One launch, where they only really launched in the United States and 10 other countries, and then the other Tier 2 and Tier 3 countries launched later in the year. So I think Xbox prioritized a global launch, and because of that, they won't have as many units available in the United States as PlayStation will. The article's headline is Xbox Series X predicted to have double the sales of PlayStation 5 by Christmas. And when I was sent this article, I definitely wanted to learn more about what made the analysts come to this conclusion. Because most analysts think that the PlayStation 5 is going to take the sales crown this holiday. It says, one of the first prognosticators out of the gate is the SEO firm The Hoth. Analysts at the firm pored over data from Google Trends throughout the year and have concluded that the Xbox Series X will outsell the PlayStation 5 by Christmas. Quote, "It's been 7 years since the last console war, and statistics indicate that Sony was by far the big winner, selling twice as many PS4s as Microsoft did Xbox Ones," the Hoth CMO Clayton Johnson told TechSpot via an email. Quote, "If this current trend data is anything to go by, it looks like the pattern will be reversed, at least for the first Christmas." And now it's revealed just how they've come to this conclusion. They use SEO and Google Trends to try to determine consumer intent. And there's a chart here included with the article that says the Christmas console clash of 2020, the Xbox Series X versus PlayStation 5. And you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, they're using Google Trends. And they pitted the search term of Xbox Series X versus PlayStation 5 to see spikes in search, like number one being the Microsoft reveals the teaser of Xbox Series X at the VGAs. You can see more people were searching for Series X then PlayStation 5, and it kind of remained close for the rest of the year until Sony revealed their hardware and games demo. You can see the PS5 spiked up immediately, but then so did Xbox. The next big spike was for the Xbox Game Show in July, although it didn't spike as high as the PlayStation Game Show. Then we got another spike when the Xbox Series X and Series S price was revealed. Another spike when the PlayStation 5 price was revealed. But of course, the big spike, bigger than anything in the past year, was when Microsoft announced the big Bethesda deal and the new Game Pass editions that basically maxed out the chart at 100. Now, instead of having a chart spread out through the whole year, you can refine it to just the past 30 days. And this is what this chart is looking at. You can see the spike there for the Series S reveal and price announcement, higher than the PlayStation 5. But then you can see the PlayStation 5 trending higher when they did their last show and revealed the date and the price of the console. And then the bigger spike when Microsoft announced Bethesda purchase and the addition of EA Play and Game Pass, and then of course everything kind of tapers off. The article goes on to say that these peaks are direct correlations to announcements from both companies and tell us little about customer commitment. However, the Hawk says that now that almost everything worth knowing is known, search trends reveal more interest in the Xbox Series X. It predicts that by Christmas, Microsoft's system will outsell Sony's by a margin of 2-1. Now, I can't wait for people to come in this video and comment without watching the entire video, just basing their assumptions on the title and the thumbnail for this video. I've already said I think the PlayStation 5 will outsell the Xbox Series X, but I was interested in seeing this analyst firm and the reasons why they think Xbox will outsell it by 2-1. And I think the data here is a little bit flawed. I'm not saying that Xbox Series X isn't going to outsell PlayStation 5 this holiday. That is certainly possible. If Microsoft produces more consoles than PlayStation and directs them here to the United States, of course they could sell more than the PlayStation 5. It's all about how many consoles did you manufacture, where did you ship them to, right? Here's the big thing that I take issue with. It's how they came to the conclusions. They were using Google Trends to determine consumer interest, and because Series X had more search volume than PlayStation 5, they think because of that the Xbox Series X will outsell by 2-1. But I don't think most people actually type in PlayStation 5 when searching or talking about the PS5. They use the simple short form, PS5, when talking about or searching for Sony's next-gen console. So I went into Google Trends myself and decided to see if it was true. Does Series X have more search volume than PlayStation 5? But if you added PS5 to the equation, how would that change? And here you go, look at it. Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, PS5, Xbox, and PlayStation as search terms. And while yes, the blue Xbox Series X line is a little bit higher than the red PlayStation 5 search line at the very bottom, indicating there's more interest in Series X over the long-form written PlayStation 5. But when you account for PS5, that's clearly not the case because PS5 is searched way more than Xbox Series X. And I thought it would be fun to add Xbox and PlayStation. Of course, when someone searches Xbox or when someone searches PlayStation, they're not necessarily talking about the new consoles. They could be talking about the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. It doesn't really indicate consumer demand. But when you look at it like this, clearly more people are interested in the PlayStation 5 than just the Xbox Series X. But like I said at the very beginning of this video, none of this stuff even matters for the first holiday. The winner will simply be who produced more units. If Xbox produced more units, they'll sell more than the PlayStation 5 in the United States. If Sony produced more units, they'll sell more. All this looking at search trends is kind of meaningless when it comes to the first holiday. Let me know who you think is going to sell more consoles in the United States in the comments below. And transitioning to my favorite PS5 analyst prediction, it's this one here. The title says PS5 sales to exceed 200 to 300 million units in 5 to 6 years, analyst says, could terminate the long-running console war. According to the rather optimistic analyst, Sony's next-gen console could possibly dominate the esports scene, with the console being the replacement for PC, and thereby greatly expanding its user base over the console's life cycle. Imanka writes that just like NBA fans want shoes from Nike, esports fans will want the PS5, and as such, Sony is expected to sell between 200 and 300 million PS5 units in 5 to 6 years. Machine translated, the article reads as follows, quote, esports demands hardware that is fast and capable of advanced video processing, not only for professional gamers, but also for amateur athletes and spectator fans. The high-spec, low-priced PS5 is for today's games, there is a possibility that it can become an international standard machine for esports instead of a personal computer. The data suggests that the number of PS5s could reach the order of 600 or 700 million in the future, 4 or 5 times the number of PS2s, which was the highest number ever for a home video game console. Mr. Imnaka said, quote, if the number of transfers from PS4, which is backwards compatible, is about 120 million, and if more than 100 million esports competition population and 400 million spectator population are added, PS5 will be 6 in total. It can be a market of more than 100 million units. What this guy is basically saying is that everybody who bought a PlayStation 4 is gonna buy a PlayStation 5 because of the backwards compatibility. So that's 120 million. And for whatever reason, this guy believes that esports is going to be dominated by the PlayStation 5, even though none of the biggest esports games are played on the PlayStation 5 or played on home consoles. You have stuff like Overwatch, League of Legends, Dota 2, those are all played on PC. But his whole reasoning is that the esports scene will shift to PlayStation, and then everybody who plays it will buy a system. So that's 100 million people. And then all the people that love to watch esports will suddenly get a PlayStation 5 as well. He compared it to NBA fans buying sneakers, and that it would be about 400 million spectators of esports for a total of 600 to 700 million units in like 10 years. And that has to be the honest to God's worst analyst prediction I have ever seen for any product in my life. The article goes on to say, quote, the PS5 is headed to a totally different dimension, so different from Switch, Xbox, or even PS4. PS5 could be a terminator of the games industry, ending the long-running console war. PS5 will be a whole new symbolic tower for Sony Group. Look, there's no doubt that the PlayStation 5 is going to sell a lot. It will probably match the PlayStation 4 in total number of sales in a few years, 120 million. Maybe there's an outside chance it reaches the 150 million of the PlayStation 2, but in my opinion, it is not getting close to 200 million, let alone 600 or 700 million. For that to even be a reality, Sony would have to produce and sell more than 50 million consoles every single year for like the next 10 years. It's not feasible, and the idea that this is legit analyst that people look to maybe invest their money in the stock market is completely laughable. Anyways, guys, that is the video. Let me know what you think about these analyst predictions in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, share this video out on social media, or tell a friend about the channel. Hit that notification bell if you always want to be notified whenever I drop a new video like this. If you want to take the support for the channel even further, you can hit the join button where you'll get access to channel badges and emotes for the Xbox 2 podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching, I truly appreciate it, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.